This is my 105 series Toyota LandCruiser. It was abandoned for 6 years when I picked it up at the beginning of this year, and today we're installing a UHF radio in the driveway. To show you, this is one of the absolute easiest mods you can do to your four-wheel drive, and you definitely don't need to be paying anyone to do it. Today we're installing the cheapest UHF radio I could find on my Toyota LandCruiser. The first thing we're going to stick on the car, because it looks the best, is the big f***off antenna. No workshop, no fancy tools, just us, some cable ties and a dream. Let's see if I can get this thing installed and maybe even working. This particular one is an Oricom 4.5 dBi antenna, and it should do the job well enough. So we've also got the proper bull bar mount. This was like $18, so I hope it does the job. As you can see, someone's already mounted one there before. We're also not going to cut into any wires for now. We're going to use this amped cigarette lighter port because I really don't want to mess with the wiring on this old car if I don't have to. So we're just doing everything. We're guessing with everything. We're not going to even look at any kind of installation guide or something. I have looked up how to install these UHFs. It's not that hard, but with the bracket, we just don't know what way to put it on that'll actually look decent because we also want it to clear the bonnet. The total cost of this UHF system was only $315, and it is from an Australian brand, Oricom. Well, we should probably figure out how to mount the antenna to the bracket first. By opening up the antenna, never mind, you don't need a knife. It just comes straight out. So it's about average size. So in order to mount the antenna, you gotta take this thing off, this bolt off, take it all the way off, and then put it back on once this is threaded through the bracket. Wait. Yeah, pull.
Also, Oricom's not even a bad brand.
Aussie. Yeah. So as you can see, we now have it properly mounted. We're just trying to decide whether to put it here or where the original one was. So I've chosen to stick it on the old spot where the marks already were in the bull bar, because I think on the side it does look better too. I'd like to put it on an angle, but we can't get it open and closed, the hood open and closed to put it on an angle. So that is one downside. Now we have to run the antenna cable along the back wall and through the firewall.
I knew you were going to become an electrician one day, Liam.
Oh, I'm not an electrician. That's why we're not hardwiring it into the car.
Is there even enough cable for what you want to run it? How you want to run it?
Yeah, that's a good question, actually. Run it under there and put it through that hole. Because the previous owner of this car had already installed a trailer brake, there was a pre-cut hole in the firewall underneath the driver's side. So we ended up switching the side of the antenna to the driver's side. This was also better because the cable itself wasn't super long. There's already a hole down here in the firewall where this trailer brake runs through, so we can run it straight through there and it'll be much easier to get to. So now we've got to thread this through the firewall. All right, I'm sending it through now. I just need to widen that hole a little bit. This process is a little bit fiddly and is much easier if you have a second person feeding it through from the inside. So we now have it through the firewall, which on this 105 series LandCruiser is just down here. There's a bit of rubber and it just goes straight through. So it's not that hard. Took us 10 minutes to fiddle around and get it through. Now it's radio time. This is by no means a sponsored product or anything, but this is a pretty compact unit. I think it was only like $150 for this actual unit, and then plus the antenna and the bracket. So it's pretty budget system overall, but it should do the job. A UHF is a UHF. This Oricom kit comes with pretty much everything you need to install it. It's got all the connections, got the plug for the antenna, which then goes in the back of here. We have the hand piece, which plugs straight into the front of the unit. Some mounting stuff. That is the handset holder. The fuse end goes to the power, and this one goes into the actual box. They just slip straight in, these two wires, and then plug into the back. But first, it advises you to connect the antenna before powering on the radio. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We've got our antenna cable here, which we've threaded through, and we are going to mount this properly at some point, but we want to see whether it actually powers on after smacking around on this cable for 20 minutes. I get it through the firewall. Fuck, call me an electrician, man. As you can see, we're wiring it into this cigarette port lighter, or this cigarette port. So this is just a temporary solution. We should probably pull this all apart and actually hardwire it into the car. This 105 series LandCruiser has two 12-volt ports in the center console, so we can still charge our phone even while this is plugged in. But this adapter is a perfect solution if you don't feel comfortable cutting into your car's factory wiring, or you've got a newer vehicle that you don't want to void any kind of warranty on. All right, first test. Ah, there we go. Alright, so right now, as you can see, we've got this mounted just under the dashboard here, and it doesn't get in the way of your feet. My legs have plenty of space. Alright, so we have the Oricom officially set up. We haven't tucked the wires in yet, but it does indeed work.
Oh yeah.
So we're testing it on a secondary radio as well, just a handheld one, and it sounds pretty damn clear. So, mission success.
Remember to like and subscribe.
I think you might need to repeat that one.
I said remember to like and subscribe, and we'll take your mum on a date.
Alright, now we've got to service this car because it's long overdue. Alright, a couple of finishing touches. Jeremy is heat shielding the wires and making sure they stay put. And then we're going to tuck this wiring behind the dashboard. Hopefully, it'll look fairly decent. Well, that has to have been one of the easiest jobs we've done so far. So if you're a full drive owner and you can't install one of these yourself, then probably shouldn't own the car. Alright, it's been nearly 4,000 Ks since we've serviced this thing. And I know that doesn't sound like much, but on a 30-year-old car, when you go through dust tracks and it burns oil, I like to keep it regularly serviced. So we're going to put some new 7.3 litres of 10W50 in it. So that is a nice thick oil. It should perform a little better. Thankfully, this isn't a very complicated process on these cars. We don't even have to jack it up. The 4.5 litre 1FZ straight 6 petrol engine in this LandCruiser is known to burn quite a bit of oil. And even owners with their valve stem seals replaced say that it does burn nearly a litre per 1,000 Ks, especially on higher kilometre motors like this one that's at 360,000 Ks now. Liquid fucking gold, mate. Today we're taking the LandCruiser on another camping adventure, and we get to test out some pretty cool new equipment that I bought. This is my new swag and we've had it custom designed, so hopefully it's going to be sick. We've also got this insane new sleeping bag. It is an all-season sleeping bag. It's got layers so you can use it all year round, and I'm super keen to see how it looks in the new swag. This camping trip was actually recorded before we installed the UHF radio, so unfortunately we didn't get to test it out on this trip. And just like that, we're off. We got the new swag on the roof, we got the boot packed, and everything ready to go. And guess what? We're going to a site that you don't have to pay for. It's a state forest and they don't require booking or payment, which is so much better than national park. So we made it to the state forest and we have our own little section. It's pretty cool. We've got the LandCruiser parked up here. I'm gonna put the awning out. Rogan's gonna park there because it's pretty flat. And Noah's got his perfect spot.
He's a one of those. It's 5.2 and then see, I don't know if it's on though.
Oh, look at this big strong man at work. Oh, good boy. Yeah, you put it in that hole. Oh, watch the split. I hope this video inspires you to work on your four-wheel drive or car yourself, because even if you make mistakes in the process, it is a great learning curve. Everything we have modified and changed on my LandCruiser since I got it from the farm, we have done ourselves. And for that reason alone, I am sentimentally attached to this old LandCruiser, so it will never ever be sold. Thanks for watching another LandCruiser episode. We are packed up and ready to go, and we're gonna make the 3-hour trip back home. That was a struggle. That's why you don't buy a diesel. Watch this, it'll start in like 2 clicks. Wait for it, wait for it. 5 or 6. Oh, look at that, no smoke!